Hello, Peter C. Hayward here, doing my daily Solforge video. I say daily, I've been skipping a few. I implemented a really good rule in my life, which is that I'm only allowed to draft on days when I go to the gym. And as you can now see, I'm in my gym clothes. So today was one of those days. Have I got enough to open 100 packs? I was going to do a draft, but if I've got enough to open 100 packs, I'm going to do that and then do a draft video as a second video. What do I need? 81. Hey, look at that! Let's open 100 packs. Very exciting, or not, depending on how excited you get by these things. 100 basic boosters. I can actually afford one more. 101 basic boosters. Let's go. Dun 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 dun. So, with these kinds of numbers, I'm expecting at least one legendary. Hopefully Zymus. I'm going to be honest, it's getting actually ridiculous now. I 3-0 in draft, I get premium packs, I get normal packs, I get, just no Zymus. It's 0 Zymus in my life. First pack, Zymus. No, Blightwalker, very nice. So I should probably work out something to talk about while I open these 100 packs. How are you? That doesn't really work in a vlogging type situation. They're very slow since the patch, aren't they? I like the new art, Phoenix on this, and must be a Patriarch, very nice. So that's 1 heroic, that's what I'll do, I'll keep track. 1 heroic and 2 rares, but it's not really worth keeping track of the rares because it'll probably be a bit over 95 because the rares get replaced. Very nice cards there. I like Solforge, I play it a lot. The system is brilliant because I hate going to the gym. I always forget to. I don't hate it. Like I wouldn't do it if I hated it that much. But I want to go to the gym pretty much 2 to 5 times a week. And without incentive, I go 0 to 5 times a week. Normally 0, but by saying I'm not allowed to draft. So my rules are I'm not allowed to draft at all until I've gone to the gym that day. So no drafts. I accidentally broke it once and went 1-2 and was like, well, that's clearly karma telling me something. I went in to do like a construct. So I got 2 rules. Let's go. First rule is I'm not allowed to draft until I've gone to the gym. And then if I want to draft a second time, I'm not allowed to unless I've gone 3-0. So if I can go infinite, I can keep on drafting. It's sort of a dual thing. It is I don't put any money into it. Very nice. Thesis Warden. And then my other rule is I'm not allowed to enter the constructed tournament until I win 5 random matches, which I don't do that often. And so I haven't actually entered a constructed tournament since I started drafting. Because 5-0, basically 5-0 I need to go. And that just doesn't really happen. I'm going to get bigger. Hello. Doesn't really happen in my life. And so, I have not been in a constructed tournament for a long time. I built that deck that was on the front page. It's a very good deck. I should also go in and get my Tarsus deck working, but I get bored by Tarsus. I want to get my Firebomb deck winning consistently, which is just leveling up Everflame Phoenixes and Scorchmane Dragons, using Technosmiths, but it's too spotty to go 5-0. And I figure if it's too spotty to go 5-0 in random, it's not going to be good enough to go 3-0 in a constructed tournament. Although people will comment and say, I go 3-0 in constructed all the time. Good for you. I would rather spend my money and my tickets on drafting. I get, 2 tickets and a normal pack if I go 2-1. And I'd rather not lose a ticket. Instead, I'd rather lose a ticket on drafting where I get a normal pack. I lose 2 tickets, but I get a heap of cards, and I enjoy the experience of drafting so much more. So yeah, on days when I don't go to the gym, I just hit the random queue trying to get 5-0. Haven't done that yet. And on days when I think I did the other day, but then this is what I was saying. So the other day I hadn't gone to the gym. Hey, I don't need it, but there's 1 legendary. Very nice. I've now got 4 of those, and I was really excited about getting 3. I put them into a Sugar Ice deck. You never need more than two Sugar Ice in a deck. Handy tip. Any more than 2 is just going to be dead draw after dead draw. Isn't that cynical that I'm like, oh, a Sugar Ice? I've already got 3. Whereas even 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, yes, a second Sugar Ice, finally. But now that I've got 3, I realise you don't need 3. You only need 2. So the other day I hadn't gone to the gym, but I won 5 random matches. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to enter a constructed tournament. Clicked on tournaments, clicked on enter draft. It's just instinct now. When I go to the tournament page, I enter a draft. So I've got, of my kind of decks that I would enter into a tournament, my Tursus, what's his name? Tarsus. My Tarsus deck, I'm just bored with. It's kind of, everyone's playing it, and so yeah, it's not super interesting to me. So there's my Tarsus deck. I feel like I should work on my green deck again. My green deck I kind of abandoned in favor of Tarsus, but now that everyone's going Tarsus, there's a lot of counters to Tarsus. So my green deck is again viable. Sort of a tricky area. And my green deck's sort of more consistent. Tarsus, if they're not prepared for it, wipes the floor. Green deck is just kind of consistently good in a fun way. I was playing my green deck before the patch, and the patch has mixed up the meta enough that it doesn't do particularly well. So there's my Tarsus deck, which I don't play. Green deck, which I haven't played for ages, but I should. There's Firebomb, which I'm gonna go in and add the Bright Steel Gargoyles in again. I took out the Bright Steel Gargoyles. I got bored of them, I think. But yeah, since then I've played against them a few times. In that draft I played, I think yesterday, I played against a Bright Steel Gargoyle, and I'm like, it's actually a good card, and especially for a delaying deck, which is what my Firebomb deck is. It's just really good for that. I don't know why I took them out. I think I was just getting Dreadbolted all the time, and I was like, this card is useless, but it's not. It's a really good card. I'm going to put it back in. I think it'll do well against Tarsus decks, because it can kind of take out 2 pretty well before it dies. Not 2 Tarsus, I mean like 2 cards. Trouble with Tarsus is that 6 health. It's too much health. Like, without that, you could throw a Bright Steel against it, and it would die on its next turn. Like, the Tarsus would die, the Bright Steel would survive. But, yeah, it's annoying. Too powerful. In a really boring way. It's kind of like, oh, they got a Tarsus. Right, well, I guess they're probably going to win this now. That was fun for everyone. The other deck I've been playing, yeah, is the one off the front page, which is a Static Shock Grimgaunt Predator deck. And it's interesting. I really enjoy it. Second Heroic with the Frost Succubus. I've got full playsets of all the Heroics, all the commons, all the rares, and I've got at least one of all but I think 4 or 5 legendaries. I don't have Cass, Drix. I do have Hearttree now. I don't have any frickin' Zymus. That's the other thing. Like, the Grimgaunt deck is good, but it'd just be so much better against a Tarsus. Like, it's just so much better with a Zymus. And so I'm sort of like, yeah, I could play this deck that I know could be better, but, you know, and there's a card out there that would just instantly make it better and I don't have it. There's no real incentive to play, so my lack of Zymus is really starting to annoy me. That was a bit of a rambly sentence, but I think it made sense. I've got a deck, it's good, I know it'd be better with the Zymus, so I don't care too much about playing it without a Zymus. So I don't have any Zymus, still don't have any Lyria. I do have 1 Hearttree now. And I put it in my Tarsus deck and was like, oh, it just doesn't fit in here at all. It's not really that good. I think it would do better in the green deck, but I'd have to try it out. Maybe even in a I should put it together with a Zerath deck. Zerath's a fun card. The new Zerath, I like the new Zerath a lot. I can't remember what I was saying now. So I don't have any Lyria, don't have any Drix, don't have any Zymus, don't have any Cass, don't have any Thundersaws in this account. I do have Thundersaw in my free-to-play account, which is, of course. And that might be it. I think it's only the 5 legendaries I have none of at the moment. 3 new ones. I've got 2 Woebringers, which I don't have a use for. Like, I've tried putting them in decks, and you just can't really do anything with them. They're not very good. Maybe against like a Tarsus deck, but even then I can't really see it. Because it just gets epidemicked, or you buff one of your cards and it dies. It's just really sort of an average card. Maybe there'd be an interesting, there's Tarsi. Good old Tarsi. He's got such strong stats at every level, and considering how amazing his ability is, I think he's too strong. People disagree with me, that's fine. We will see how it all shapes up. Yeah, Woebringer, I can't get him to work. I've got 2 of them. I fluked 2 Woebringers within like the first week and got really excited. Then tried to put them into decks and nada. So I've got almost all the legendaries. If trading was around, I would have play sets of every legendary, because I think we're coming up onto 7 frickin' Synapsis Oracles now. 6 Utera Packmasters, and they're good cards. Like, the Synapsis Oracle I don't actually use anymore. The meta sort of shifted to rush decks, and so Synapsis Oracle just doesn't really work anymore. The only kind of slow build deck I use is my Firebomb one, because the bombs are so good. The Everflame Phoenix right there, and the Scorchmane Dragon. So that's the only reason I even use that as a bomb deck anymore. But yeah, the meta is really, it's shifted to fast decks, and I don't think it's going to move away from that anytime soon. Because I think of the strength of cards like Everflame Phoenix and Zymus, like if someone gets one of them out, you basically have to have specific cards to deal with it, which is hard, or you lose. So people are sort of bored of that, so they make fast decks, and fast decks just win. And then if you can have a fast deck and chuck a Zymus in, even if you get to end game, I'm possibly overestimating Zymus. It just seems like a really good card, but maybe that's just because I don't have it. Because I didn't have a Heart Tree, and I thought that was a really good card, and I've got, and I'm like, it is a good card. I'm just like, oh, well, I don't really have much use for this at the moment. I should build a Heart Tree deck. If I had Trip Thundersaws, I would build a Heart Tree Thundersaw Weirwood Patriarch deck. That would be really interesting. I haven't got the hang of Weirwood Patriarch yet. People are saying he's a must pick if he's in your first pack in draft, but because I don't know how to use him, I was reluctant to. After this video, I'm going to make a draft video. So if I see a Weirwood, I'll probably pick it up and try my hand at building a deck around it. What I like about Weirwood a lot is that it suddenly made Etherhounds as good as Echo Wisp. Because everyone has been like, oh yeah, Etherhounds are just a crappy version of Echo Wisp. No. With Weirwood, they're a totally different card that's quite good in a different way. It's cool. I like how some cards, like how Tarsus just made Leafkin Progenitor just shoot through the roof. Incredible card now. Yeah, Tarsus. I hope they nerf him. You're welcome to be like, that's stupid, but I think he's really... I just want him to have one less health at level 1. That's all I want. If he's got that, I'm happy. It means you can actually deal with him. You can Dreadbolt him. You can Thunderbolt. You can Gemhide Bash him. There's all kinds of options. With that 6 health, 5 attack, he trades with every single card in the game, except for like Everflame Phoenix and Avatars at level 1, and then yeah, he kicks their ass at levels 2 and 3, I think. Too powerful. There's my 3rd heroic. 3 heroics, 1 legendary. Very nice. This whole process kind of loses a lot of its appeal, I've realised, when you have all the legendaries. Because now I'm like, well, I hope it's legendary, but I only really care if it's a very specific legendary. Someone said Nexus Core is amazing in a Shambler deck, which is a really interesting idea to me. I should build one of those. That's what I should do on my non-gym days. I should go build all these interesting decks instead of just being like, I wish I could draft. Drafting is so good. I can see why people love it so. It's incredible. Everyone's on an even footing. It's about skill rather than right card combinations. It's just excellent. Okay, I reckon I'm coming to the end of my 101 now. Yeah, having all the legendaries has taken the appeal out of this. I'm sorry. Hopefully I've made it interesting with some commentary about cards. If not, well, I tried. I love how they have the picture of the booster. Like, it's clearly not a booster because it's digital. Like, it doesn't need the wrapping. But they're like, you know what? We remember opening these. It was fun. We're going to give you that experience, even though it's digital. I think that's cool. Blightwalker. Blightwalker, I think, is going to see a bit of a comeback. Cards like Thundersaw, cards like... I don't know, I guess sort of Tarsus. Trouble is, Tarsus is also Necrium, so anything you can put against him... Like, I would understand the 5/6 if he was in another faction, but because he's Necrium, any card you put against him that can kill him, they can take out before it kills him. It's just... It's totally imbalanced, and it's really annoying. Yeah, if he was not Necrium, if he was Utera, if he was Tempest, if he was anything else, I would be okay with the 5/6, but as it is, put any card against a Tarsus, they play an Epidemic, you're stuffed. The only way to beat a Tarsus is in Necrium. No, is with the best way is with Static Shock Lightning Spark, because it's perfect damage, but it relies on the right draw. I just get so annoyed by Tarsus. Static Shock Dreadbolt's the same thing, but then you're crossing 2 factions. But like Utera can only Botanimate him. Like, there's no other way of removing him with one card. And Botanimate against the Tarsus deck is horrible because you don't want to give them more things to... I get so frustrated by it. Aloyan can, like, Metasculpt him, but then you're left with a 5/6 on the field. Who wants that? Yeah, there's just no way of dealing... They've made him too strong, I think. I think he's frustratingly strong. The only faction that can deal with him is his own faction. And at that point, you might as well be playing a Tarsus deck. I can understand why they made him rare. They made him rare so that you could pick him up. Because in draft, he's not overpowered. He's just an interesting, good card in draft. But in Constructed, he is crazy powerful. The Invitational's coming up soon, which is a massive Solforge tournament. Invite only, which is why it's called Invitational. I'm learning. I just recently learned all these things, so I'm kind of passing them on as new knowledge in case you don't know them. And so it's going to be interesting to see how many people are playing Tarsus decks. Apparently, Weirbot's an interesting new deck. Weirwood Patriarch plus Aloyan, like Arcflight, because a lot of the robots have stats that mean they get activated by Weirwood. And I like that. I like that combo. I think that's interesting. People are also saying Weirwood's body's too powerful. I'm okay with Weirwood having a more powerful body because his ability is when he comes into the field. Like Tarsus, you want to be able to take out before he can do things. Like Keeper of the Damned. Keeper of the Damned's a great example. He's a 6/5. Oh no, he's a 5/4. Which means he can be Dread Bolted, he can be Lightning Sparked. There's all kinds of ways of dealing with him. Because if he's alive on their turn, you're in trouble. Tarsus is a similar way. If he's alive on their turn, you are in trouble. Because they can get multiple activations out of him. So I think, oh, Battletech, nice. I just got a second Battletech in my free-to-play account, which is very much more exciting because I have like 12, 15 in here. I'm really a cynic. I'm really like, I've got 1 million of those, but it's a good card. There's Tarsus. So, let's have a look at him. Level 1. He can't be taken out by any single card. Instantly, like there's only about I think 9 cards in the whole game that can't be taken out by a single card instantly. He's one of them. He's incredibly powerful. Level 2, he can be taken out by a level 2 Uranti Bolt, level 2 Gemhide Basher, but generally level 3 Tarsus decks don't really get to level 3, and if they do, you're screwed. Generally. Yeah, his level 1 stats are too much. And I hope they nerf him down to, I think 5/4 or 5/5 would be ideal. Considering his ability, he's too powerful. Let me know if you disagree. Leave a comment down there. Being like, no Peter, he's exactly the right power level. I just think he's boring to play against. And that for me is the biggest sin that you can commit in a game like this. Having a card just be like, oh, that's really... Oh, you got that out. I can't stop you. Cool. You win this round, I suppose. Yay. Yay for you. Yay for you. I feel like when set 2 comes out, people like me are going to be like, hey, do you want any set 1 card for like a rare from set 2? And everyone's going to be like, no, we have them all. Which is fine. It's just, I'm not complaining, I'm just noting. Does the Phoenix have 2 sets of wings? I have never noticed that before. It's got like this set here and then this set here. It's a 4-winged beast. Look at that. Is that just like flame bursting out from its sides? And there's my wings. Huh. How interesting. 101 is a lot of packs. I've got 23 to go. I'm 3/4 of the way through. So yeah, Weirwood's body being big doesn't bother me because you don't care if he stays alive. You only care about cards staying alive if they do things on an ongoing basis. It would be like as if Witherfrost Succubus had Tarsus's stats. That would just be insane. Like, that would be way too powerful. That's the level I think we're at. Apparently in the beta, we're in the beta. Apparently in the alpha, or in the closed beta, Synapsis Oracle was way too powerful because her stats were much, much better. So they nerfed her. and now she's... I don't even really think she's playable anymore. I think, yeah, with the number of rush decks out there, you basically have to have a rush deck. Like, no one's really going to be... I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, well, you know... No one's playing, like, Synapsis Oracle works against other slow decks, but because no one's playing slow decks, she doesn't work. So I've actually taken her out of all of my decks, which is annoying because I have, as I mentioned, 7 of her. Grimgaunt Predator. Now, his stats are perfect. Perfect stats right there. Genius. Tarsus, too much. I don't know if I mentioned that. Might have come up once. His ability's fine. Like, I have no issue with his ability. I think he's cool and fun. I just think he, as a body, has too much. Like, a 1/6 would still be annoying, but you could deal with that with, like, Cull the Weeks. I think Cull the Week's going to have a bit of a comeback, too, with all the Thundersaw decks that you see. Thundersaw's a good card. I did a ranking of all the premiums all the legendaries from what I thought was the most powerful to the least powerful. And so many people were like, you put Thundersaw too high. And now everyone's being like, Thundersaw's amazing. I'm like, yes. Yes, he is. I also apparently put Rageborn Hellion too high. Maybe I put Thundersaw too low. No, I think I put him too high. Too high, according to people. I put Rageborn Hellion at like number 8, and everyone was like, no. And so I'm curious to see if there are still decks being built around him, because I think he's a really solid, good card. I've never quite managed to get the hang of a Rageborn deck. You probably go back through my archives and see me making videos where I try to make fast red decks. So as I was saying earlier, one of my main decks is one of my decks that I'm trying to get to work is the Predator deck from the front page. Because I don't have any Zymus, I put Nargath Bruisers in there, which is a weird choice. The logic was that he's got a good body and he can stop your Predator from being Dreadbolted or keep it alive another turn. I haven't played it enough to see if that works, but I thought, yeah, that was an interesting idea, worth trying out. 4 wings. Unless it's just like another Phoenix behind that Phoenix, with also 2 wings. So yeah, I'm going to keep playing with that Nargath Bruiser deck. I might do a video of it. Or the next time I do a non-draft video, I think I want to... next time I do a non-draft video, I want to go into my free-to-play account and see what kind of decks I can make with a very limited card pool, because that's really interesting to me. I probably went to another pack opening video. There we go, I got there. Just because there's very few cards I'm excited about. And pretty soon I'll get them and I'll be like, oh, well, there's no point in opening packs. So I'm just going to use my my silver for the one-off event ticket, I think. I got a lot of gold at the moment, not really much to do with it. This whole limiting myself to drafting only when I go to the gym has meant that I go through my gold a lot less quickly, because I was going through it really fast because I was drafting a lot and not always winning. I went through, I think, 10,000 gold before I even learned how to draft. But, yeah, I don't really want to buy packs because there's only a few cards I want and they're pretty expensive. I'd rather spend that money on drafting and hopefully get the card or then get it in a pack that I get. I considered buying like a custom background, but I've seen them on videos and none of them really appeal to me. Because like Aloyan's my favourite faction, but the Aloyan one's got those creepy faces. I don't like those faces. It would unnerve me, I feel. And I could buy some deck slots. It's not a bad idea, but it feels like a waste of gold when you can get them with silver. So I think I'm just going to hoard my silver and use it on probably deck slots and use my gold on tournament tickets when I need it. Hopefully not that often, because I'm doing pretty well these days. Having said that, I'll probably now play a draft and just lose horrendously. I like how the Phoenix is... Oh, out of packs. So, from that I got, I think, 3 or 4 Heroics and a Shragrias, which is a nice card that I liked a lot more when I had 2 of them. When I had 1 of them, I mean. So, I've only got 1 Heart Tree. It's the only legendary I have 1 of. I have 0 Lyria, Drix, Cass, Zymus, and the other new legendary, which is Thundersaw. And then I only need one. Call the Lightning, Woebringer. Doomwing I would like. I'd like to chuck a third Doomwing into my mobility deck and see how that goes. Third Soul Drinker. I should try to make that work. No one has been able to yet. If it's ever going to work, it's going to work in my mobility deck. But ever since Kit made fun of... Not made fun of. Kit and I had a little tiny debate on Reddit about mobility decks, specifically the role of Windcaller Shaman, and since then I've kind of gone off it a lot. Arborist, I'm happy with 2 of those. I don't think... 3 would make an interesting Arborist deck. Hinterland Watchman I should try out. I really haven't yet. Abraxas is nice, but I think he works best in a cast deck. Orion Warwalker is a fun card. And Heart Tree I haven't played with yet. And then the rest I have 3 of... I only have 3 Wildfire Maidens, but that's a new heroic, that makes sense. 4 Shragrias, 4 Scorchmanes, 4 Flow Steels, 5 Flame Blades, and then right up to 7 Synapsis Oracle, and then it's all heroic and rare. Anyway, that's all for me. Thank you for watching me open 101 packs and rant about Tarsus for however long it's gone for. I'm Peter C. Hayward. I'll see you next time. Peter out.